Well, for those of you who know, we bought this back in January as a daily driver for Randy, and it quickly turned into more of a project Jeep than a daily driver. Well, it was a bit of a fight because I couldn't get the goosenecks off, but I got the gas off, electric off pretty easy, including that red clamp. This is the inside of my gas tank. So we're going to be replacing this entire caliper unit anyway. As I was backing it in on the very first day, it stalled and would not start back up after the drive home. It would start after it sat for about a half hour, and that's a pretty common problem with TJs. Heat soak or possibly vapor lock, so we put an insulation kit on the fuel rail. And we thought that that fixed it, but it did not. So Jeepers Den told me that I should put a new crankshaft position sensor on, and that did fix it. Hey, I'm Matt. Welcome to Florida Jeep Rides. Today we're going to do a how-to video with our 1997 TJ. I'm in the backyard, and that's where I keep the Jeeps that I work on. Right now there are two back here. I might need to get a bigger backyard. We're going to change the crankshaft position sensor on this 1997. I got a NTK. They're the same people that make the NGK spark plugs. A couple things you want to know about this sensor. One, just plugs in up on the top, has one bolt that holds it, and there is a felt pad on the base of it. Do not remove that pad, as that it is a spacer to make sure that you are the proper clearance once it's installed. Once you crank it up, it's gonna take that pad right off and you'll be perfect where you need to be. Let's go ahead and get into it. First, let's open up the hood. That's where it is. I got a 7/16 with the swivel, and I'm gonna try to get it to come off there. Let me just say that this is a real pain to get to. I've tried a 1/4 inch drive, a 3/8 drive. I've tried a 6-inch extension, a 10-inch extension. I've tried swivels. Once you've got it broken free up in here, hopefully, so you can see, I can't even show you because my hand is in the way. There's no way that you can get a camera in there, but if you reach up in there once you've loosened it, you can take the bolt out with your hand. So that's the bolt. The next task is to get the sensor out of there. I'd love to film it and show you how to do that, but unfortunately, I'm not gonna fight trying to hold the camera and get it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm a fool with this and try to wiggle it out, and then I'll tell you what I did. Don't mix it up with the gray one. I've already got it out. That's the used sensor. On the end, there is a button that you push right there. Push that button down toward the front, and then you should be able to separate the pieces. This is my old one. Okay, now I was not able to record me getting it out. As you're gonna find out, there's no room whatsoever. Once I got the bolt off the back of this, I was able to pivot a little bit and turn it out. The pinch seam was not in the way. So now that that's out, you can see that the little felt pad is gone on this one, which is what it's supposed to do. So let's put the new one in and see if it works. So if you can see it, that's the angle that it goes in. Now you're not gonna be able to see what I'm doing because, again, my hand is gonna definitely be in the way. So it slides right in with no resistance. Then you can take and put it back where it goes. Take your bolt, thread it by hand. That's on. I'm gonna take my very small ratchet and I'm gonna try to tighten that up. So my little itty bitty socket's up there. Randy is under the Jeep with me to film this one. You know what I need? I need a lift.
Yes.
I have a lift at work, and I'm telling you, if this was on a lift, this would be such an easy job. It's in, it's tight, didn't tighten it too much. You'd be surprised how little 20 pounds is, and 20 pounds is what I use at work to hold together fairway mower units. So it's probably pretty light. So just tight, but not too tight. The last thing you want to do is hook up your wires, clip them back together. Take your Christmas tree thing, and it's going to go in that hole right down there. So now that it's hooked up, reconnect it. Just push it back together the way it came apart. You should feel the little tab click. Take your Christmas tree, little push tab, push it there, and let's see if it starts. And it started pretty good. So the next test for me is to take it out, drive around the neighborhood for about a half hour, and see if that fixed the problem. The parts that you're going to need is a new crankshaft position sensor. You're going to maybe need a swivel. Maybe you're going to need a long extension. You're going to need to have a 3/8 drive. You're going to need maybe to have a 1/4 inch drive, 7/16 inch sockets. What I tried at first initially was that I used this with the 3/8 drive and the 7/16 socket, and that was able to break it loose. That was the first process. Then once it was loose, I could take it out by hand. Luckily, when I went to go put it back in, I used this. I got about 1 click for each rotation, but I found that to be easier. So that's the only tools that you're going to need, really, is a socket with a 7/16 to do this job. It is not hard at all, but it is a little bit of pain to get up there. It's certainly difficult to do it and film at the same time. If you're having problems with your TJ, and sometimes it's idling rough or stalling on you, or sometimes it'll turn over but it won't start, it could be the crankshaft position sensor. It's a pretty easy job to do yourself. However, you need to be mechanically inclined. So if you're not, you could probably take this up to Jeepers Den and they'd be more than happy to help you out with it. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt, and this has been a how-to video for Florida Jeep Rides. Well, we've done a few things to it. We put some new tires on it. We got some new rims put on it. We've insulated the fuel rail. We changed the fuel pump and the fuel filter. But we do still have a couple of major issues. One, the horn doesn't work. Two, it starts, but I have no gauges whatsoever. On occasion, the gauges will come on. Lastly, the AC, it blows, but it doesn't get cold. The last thing that I want to repair is the AC.